Who thought they would call a movie Black Panther and Black Panther is barely in the movie and you still love it? That's just the power of a good
I
movie.
mean, it worked because Shuri was a Black Panther. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but that happens in the last third of the final act. You know what I mean? You don't.
What I was worried was it was just going to become like this propaganda like vehicle. You know what I'm saying? And it was just going to get super woke. And, they tried to take it back to the roots by having him have a son. But basically, all you did was like reinforce the stereotype of a absentee father and a single mother. I mean, really. I mean, that's what you essentially did. Because you think about it tradition wise, T'Challa wouldn't not be in his son's life. He would he's got his son being raised in a whole different country. That's not how Africans do shit, man. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate what they're trying to do, but what
uh,
they essentially did was told the same old story. This is a little black boy who
uh,
doesn't have a father, who's being raised by a single mother. I mean, really, that's what it is.
we finally made it moment of Black Panther too. I think everything you described since Endgame, this is probably easily the best project since Endgame, pound for pound. And it goes to show you the talent that Ryan Coogler actually has, and when you give him a budget, the things he could do. But my biggest return from this movie, fellas, of most things, this was a swan song to Chadwick, and I think we all knew that was coming, but it's just the way they executed it and the way they ended it. It was like it's a one off. That's not a one off. I don't know how in the hell he pulled that off, that concept off, but he just a lot of incredible moments. For me, I think music always makes the movie. So just one of the more minor things was how incredible the soundtrack, the score of the movie was, especially when Namor made his debut and the feeling and the vibe you got from his side of the world. I don't know why other directors in the Marvel universe can't get this concept of creating a world for your character, but Ryan Coogler did a hell of a job of it, man. Angela Bassett killed the movie, with her acting or whatever. You can tell a lot of people were like, "Hey, we got to go all out. We're trying to make this one count. We're trying to get that posthumous or whatever award for in his name. You know what I mean? Just to make sure we all know what time it is." And I think they might have done it. I don't. It's so many things. I don't even know where to begin, man. As far as best parts and all that, just really extremely well done.
I'll say one of the biggest highlights for me was just seeing Riri come to life. I was glad. I thought they was gonna make her Wakandan, but she's an American and she's just smart as hell, man. She's one of those characters that didn't really pop in the comics, but live action, I think she's got a future, definitely.
Riri Williams. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't like her character. That she evolved way too fast. I didn't really like her attitude. I don't know. Call me a He-Man woman hater, but she's. If I had a minor gripe, she would probably be on that list, a minor gripes list. I don't know, man. She didn't do it for me. She came out with the Iron Man suit, and you think that it made more of a splash, but the theater didn't react to that at all. I was like, and it's vibranium, and she built this in 5 minutes. I don't want to downplay the girl, but I don't know. That just moved hella fast for me.
Yeah, they should have left the finished like solid looking suit for her series on Disney Plus. They should have kind of just if they included her, it should have been a slow progression like Tony's suits were. Like in the comics, like her first suit is as bulky as the Mark One. I think she's gonna resonate. A lot of the women really love the film. A lot of people in the theater responded to her when I was there.
Yeah. This was what I use movies like this. I really just want to watch. I don't want to be bothered. So I was in a 10 a.m. show to check this one. I didn't know how long this thing was going to be. This thing almost clocked in at 3 hours. I think like 2 hours and 40 some odd minutes, and it was completely fine because the immersive nature of the entire story. You kind of needed some time. They didn't flush out a whole lot. Like I said, if I had a minor gripe list, the Riri thing was probably the only one for real, because she kind of evolved really quick. But it was mostly a journey about Shuri and her stages of grief. And you're right, it was really well done. Black Panther is really only in this movie for 5%. The Black Pantheress, I guess, you know, towards the absolute end. But it's just showing how women are running the show, acting wise, and all of that. And it was so executed so well. I don't. Oh, this is the Riri preview. Okay, I was about to say because I don't recall. What's my man with the eye?
Sam Jackson, Nick Fury.
Fury. Yeah, I don't recall Nick Fury in this project, but that would make sense given what she went through in Wakanda. When she come back home, she's definitely gonna have to talk to some people.
Yeah, man.
And to
I'm looking
me,
for
why would you not just live in Wakanda? Sidebar. You know, like what are we doing?
it. She's got a whole life back in America, and Kevin acronyms got bigger plans for her.
Jevin.
Right.
Now, Will, if you had a one-way ticket to Wakanda, you and your family, you peacing out, right?
I don't know, man. I don't look all that live to me, man.
He one of them. Hey, Fresh, I think he's lying.
If you got Lupita Nyong'o over there waiting on me, then maybe. But otherwise, it's not live enough for me over there.
No, you got to go to Haiti for that one. Sidebar, she was looking incredible in this movie. I mean, like, who knew? Incredible. Like, damn, wait a minute.
So she's on a different level.
Yeah. So, yeah, you get some of her. What did you think of Namor? What did you think of his character, his development, his story, the Avatar / Hispanic people, Aztec Mexican people?
I thought it was dope, man. Man, he was extremely powerful, man. I mean, honestly, I don't even see how she beat him. If this dude is operating at a level comparable to Thor and the Hulk, according to Ryan Coogler, there's absolutely no way. I mean, what she did with the outsmarting them, trying to drive him out, that was dope. All of his scenes, man, they did an excellent job. I think they come into it with just these closed minds, and sometimes I could be one of those people when you change the source material, but it was dope to see him, man. It was dope to see his motivations, because he is one of those anti-heroes, like he'll help you as long as it's in the service of what he wants, done for himself and his people. So
now, watching his development knows that we have the means to pull off a Doom, and I really wish that they get a director who's really as focused and driven as Coogler to pull off a Doom type of person, because he's on the same level as these guys, almost. I mean, he's not like Namor strength wise.
Technically he kind of is, man. I mean, the dude has got basically Stark tech and he's got magic. So, I mean, he's on a level beyond Namor.
Can you explain to me why the people were blue in the water? What was that? The heart-shaped herb did something different in the water to him, I think it was.
Yeah, it's because of the way that specific plant reacted to the vibranium.
It's kind of crazy. What did you think about all the shots that Coogler was taking at like let's call them white power institutions? Boy, he was getting away with some jokes that you wouldn't expect in a Marvel movie at all.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of surprised to see Killmonger come back and still talking about the lost ones and the different verbiage and different things that they decided to kind of touch on, man. it's refreshing, man, just to kind of see this storytelling, man. Um, this is something that other ethnic groups they don't think about. So
True.
it
You,
was it was dope and refreshing just to kind of see them put it out there at the forefront.
now it's been a lot of. I'm not gonna lie. You know how it's a whole nother issue in itself. But Black Christians, they don't really jive with the motherland stuff. So it's been getting a lot of blowback, man. Like the ritualistic practices that were going on in this movie, and I'm like, dude, it's just keeping it authentic as possibly can. I don't, but that's a whole nother issue. But I see what you're saying. It just people weren't apparently a lot of people on the internet weren't vibing with that part. And I was disappointed by that. I appreciate the depth they gave damn near all the characters, even the Dora Milaje characters, even got some good shine. You got to care more about them. Uh, you really couldn't feel bad when Queen Rwanda just pretty much went off on what's her name,
Okoye.
Okoye. Yeah, you really couldn't blame her. You that honestly for all the stuff that they did for Chadwick, and I was emotional. I felt like her pain in that moment that was probably the most powerful part of the movie. Like the husband did, my son did, my daughter gone. What you been doing? I told you not to take her. What do you
Hmm.
want me to do? You let Killmonger walk in here. Now we ain't got no rose, no heart shape herb to oh yeah. So you felt the weight of the world on her back. She got Frenchmen trying to run up on her. She got to put the world, on display. This is really well done, man. This is really well
Yeah,
done.
and Angela Bassett's acting was like on a whole different level, man. She really carried that weight. They did a fantastic job, man. That midnight, what is that? That midnight angel armor.
Yeah,
I feel like they could have went with a different color palette or something.
it was
'Cause
too blue for you.
it just looked so alien like. It just looked like something the Predator or somebody would be wearing.
It looked like a Power Ranger Phase 7 or something. The Blue Ranger. Uh, yeah, Lupita is she's a killer, man. I really hope it kind of broke her out. You know what I mean? Even more so. Um, but yeah, storyline wise, I didn't expect the queen to die. I don't know about you, but I didn't really see that coming. But it made sense to advance the whole story and put the weight of the world on Shuri's back and make her even more, have to question her own thing. At the end, I honestly felt like she would have killed him though. It wouldn't have been given that moment.
Yeah.
It had to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's something like T'Challa that he's had to struggle with too. I mean, you have somebody who's threatening your kingdom. I mean, essentially took your mother and killed her, killed how many Wakandans under with his attack. So I don't see how she would have let him live either. I know she felt like she was, the story is saying like she made the right decision, trying to be like T'Challa, but the
Yeah.
dude is too much of a threat, and I mean, it just makes you look weak in front of your citizens. So I don't agree with that. I think she would have killed him.
For all the stuff Wakanda is going through now, especially that the European world knows about them. Yeah, that's a bad move to kill them, I think. So I get it from a political power standpoint. If we're two people with vibranium here, we essentially control the world. The only thing that I would allow it because she's back as the Black Panther. But you know what? At the same time, Namor's whole crew, he said they have the power of the Hulk. So each one of them,
Well, no, Namor is as strong as him because he's a mutant. So
which I did
he's.
acknowledge that. I did like that.
I mean, Namora and Atuma were pretty strong,
Yeah.
but we don't know. They said Namora is his cousin, and I don't know why Atuma was so strong, but like even like the cartoons and in the comics, Atuma has always been extremely strong.
Okay. So all his army that he was bragging about, they weren't individually like Captain America or.
Oh, they're operating on a different level than Captain America. It's like the Asgardians. They should be way stronger than the average human being.
Right. So if you considering pound for pound, war for war, to keep Namor alive is dumb. But because both either one of those nations could conquer the world with no problems. You know what I mean? But them
Yeah.
together is a dangerous threat to the whole world. They can keep the world in line. I wonder how that plays out in the whole MCU.
Well, but I mean, the thing is that the world at large doesn't even know about the Atlanteans
True.
to this day. So that's a very powerful ally to have in your back pocket. But Namor is extremely fickle. So
Yeah, he might.
he could join sides with Kang. You know what I'm saying? He don't care. As long as it's going to protect his people.
So right, and I don't now. If you stay to the end, obviously Black Panther will return. I don't know if that means Namor comes back, or if he gets his own project or what. I think the actor held it down enough to carry a franchise. One thing about this movie, I think it was done intentionally, was like the humor. It was like the humor somebody gives you at a funeral. It's like you kind of laugh, but it's really not like I'm not going. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to bust the gut over this laugh because it's supposed to be like a somber tone. So I didn't get a lot of that type of humor out this movie, which I thought was really well done, and it kept the story going because I didn't really need the typical Marvel yucks. Don't get me wrong, M'Baku came through and dropped some one-liners which were great, but he's just got that natural timing, comedic wise.
Yeah, the whole scene with when Shuri took the heart-shaped herb and she came dropped in on him, and then they did that little fist and he tested her strength. That was dope. I think that was probably one of the highlights of that movie for me.
Yeah. Where do we go from here is what I want to know. Obviously, we alluded to earlier in the discussion about time travel. So that just leaves T'Challa's son around, Prince T'Challa. And I think it was just a masterful way it was done. That way Coogler can write a one-off that also can progresses because I think they're going to have to age up the boy quickly as they can. And boom, the Black Panther franchise is back. I don't think Coogler's going to head it anymore, but it's there to stick around and make money because I think we're all three of us and all of the internet is definitely going to check out the third one.
Oh yeah, it's definitely. Will it be as masterful as the first? Honestly, I'll say the first one is better than this one.
Yeah.
But this is still a masterful and enjoyable film. I really just don't know what they're gonna do. Like, his son is a little kid, man. I don't really know how they can like age him up in a meaningful fashion and have him join any kind of a team. So maybe they'll revisit the Panther. Maybe Shuri will continue to be the Black Panther, and we'll see him in a different phase once he gets older.
Well, like we were talking about with the Ant-Man trailer, and Fresh just put in the chat in our chat. Yeah, the time travel is there; it's right in our faces. So, for the sanctity of business, I can't keep this guy a 5-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Shuri, the way they maneuver her, she's not in charge of Wakanda. She is the Black Pantheress, I guess, or Black Panther, but I don't think she's going to be 24/7 on guard to protect Wakanda. And for whatever reason, however reason it happens, I think they're going to age up. Yeah, M'Baku is King Fresh. Yeah. So Shuri's kind of just doing her own thing. But Wakanda doesn't need the Black Panther to go against the European nation. So it only helps to be allies with Namor. You know what I mean? And then if she's
one thing I'll say is I don't like how easily these characters just kind of give up their kingdoms. It's just like how Thor just gave his kingdom away to old girl. Like that kingdom means a lot to them. You know what I'm saying? That's just not something you can just give away. You know what I'm saying? That Black Panther mantle is the king of that nation. You know what I'm saying?
But you got to remember, Shuri's whole thing was, I don't give a damn about tradition. I'm gonna do my thing. So I can see her whole point. That's why she didn't even care about the seeing her ancestors, even though she was disappointed Killmonger showed up, but she kind of got the reasoning why. And it was dope that her scene as she's meeting her ancient times and starts setting fire to the world. That's why I'm like, given all this pain and grief she's going through, I don't see her turning at the last second on Namor. But again, whatever. But I do, like I said, I appreciate that she was doing the new way, her way, and she let the kingdom go up for grabs. So I get that. I get that more than anything.
But I think that's just that American type shit is where we always say, oh, well, you know, we have a democracy here, and the right way is a democracy. And we see these characters like Black Adam and Black Panther turn these roles over and make it more democratic. That's not who these characters are, man. You know what I'm saying? They dictatorships. And who are we to go in there and say, y'all not doing this shit right, do it our way? You know?
That's that. Yeah.
That's
That's
that
deep.
American bullshit, man.
That's pretty deep. I'm not going.
We trying to change these characters and make them just like Black Adam. That's not something he would do, man. He's a dictator.
Like, no, this is my land.
It's my
Now,
shit.
now I appreciate that this moment, this pretty much, Chadwick Killmonger, Black Panther moment, pretty much was the entire basis for part two, because the Wakandan elders were out their minds for one, letting Killmonger come through and do this, and then he burns up the heart-shaped flower, which in the beginning, that I like how they tied it in. Unfortunately, it was linked to a real life death, but I like how they tied it in, since it wasn't around. He catches some wild virus and they couldn't cure him after that. That kind of made sense to me storyline wise.
I mean, as far as story go, it made all the sense in the world, man. But as far as like Killmonger, he came in there and did what he was supposed to do. He did it the right way. He fought him in the ritual combat and he won. So he became the king.
But
So
all that happened in the span of like 10 minutes. You just can't let this guy's been king for 2 days. You came from America. We ain't vetted you at all. Oh, I guess they kind of did vet him. All you had to do was show.
I mean, he just got that royal blood, man. It's not, you don't got a vet,
See,
That's just like,
mm-hmm.
That's what I'm kind of wondering what they're gonna do with the son. Maybe M'Baku gets power hungry, and then the boy has to come back and take the throne back from M'Baku. But what I'm wondering is, now that they have that Midnight Angel armor, I'm wondering if that's gonna tie into Armor Wars. I'm wondering if some of those designs are based off of Star Tech. And see, the beautiful thing about that story was Tony was pitted against friend and foe. You know what I'm saying? If he was using his tech, he was a foe, whether you be a good guy or not. So that'd be dope if Rose got to fly to Wakanda and put pause on some of the Dora Milaje and shut down their tech. So I'm wondering if that's probably one of the reasons why they made it armor.
Is this the Don Cheadle project?
Yeah.
Let's say it is the armor they wore in the Tanashi coats written by Black Panther comics. You and freshmen probably know more about that than I, but I don't know. Just because Don Cheadle's in it, I don't even anticipate it. Like, I'm good. I'll watch it one day.
Oh man, Don Cheadle, he need to spread his wings, man. He the shit.
That man's like 60 something. But no hate. I don't really. It's not for me. All right, that's all I'll say about the Armor Wars. Even though I'm gonna watch it. The only thing that I think was missing for this movie, that the presence that Namor brought, is that he wasn't fighting an equal rival. As much as I like Shuri, she wasn't combat ready. She was the Panther for 3 days, 3 hours. You know what I mean? She just, let me see a king fight a king. So that real life took that chance away. And throughout the movie, I was wondering my whole time thinking like, well, if Chadwick's still alive, how does this storyline go? You know what I mean? What parts they kept and what parts they had to change up, obviously. Or was it just like a total cross the whole movie out, redo it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a large chunk of the movie had to be, probably the three-quarters of it had to be rethought of, and they had to, go back to the drawing board to make it poignant, and they didn't know what they were going to do as far as um, his passing and replacing him. So yeah, they had to go back to the drawing board, and what they came up with worked. I was a little disappointed that the White Wolf didn't show up though.
No, they replaced him with the other guy, Elaine Bennis's husband. And what is
I
her
mean, but he
character
did.
anyway?
She's running the what is it? The Thunderbolts.
Yeah, like the behind the scenes covert stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so like U.S. Agent and the Black Widow and Ghost and whoever else is on that team. Yeah, I was thinking that we were gonna kind of see one of them show up, but they didn't.
No, they didn't. Yeah, Bucky, I think he's supposed to be on that team, like Fresh is saying, whose voice has been destroyed or whatever. He's on IR for the evening. But shit, well, yeah, I think the whole team's gonna be there, and I get it, but I just don't know, man. It should be a good project, but I don't see the need. Like, why would Bucky come to this in this Wakanda 2? You know what I
Because
mean?
he's a White Wolf and he's got a responsibility there. He's got a title and that's his home. So he should have showed up.
I feel like that was T'Challa's homie, and that's probably what it was. You know what I'm saying? And I was
Yeah,
like,
but in the captain that was the Captain America series. Once the Dora Milaje came for Zemo, they told him that he has, responsibilities and duties in Wakanda.
no, you're right. I forgot all about that. Yeah. No, I guess Cougar was like, nah, we don't need that. We're not doing that. Like, get him out of here. Which is fair because, they wanted this to be super inclusive Wakandans. You know what I mean? Again, Americans and all these other superpowers, quote unquote, were no match for the technology and the armor and everything that Wakanda has. They could really take over the earth in a day. What was the actual conflict? What happened with Daniel? What is it? How you say his name? Kuila? I can't even say it, but he wasn't in the movie, and it was pointed out that was another failings of Okoye. Her couldn't even keep her dude in line.
Oh well, he was of the mind that they should replace T'Challa, from what I was reading. So I don't know what all what all happened behind the scenes, but he was of the mind that that Chadwick Boseman's Black Panther should have been replaced, and he didn't agree with the direction that they took, so he didn't want to be part of it.
Damn. Well, I hate he missed out on the bag. That was.
What would he been doing? He's supposed to have been locked up anyway.
You could have wrote a role in there for him. Technically, Okoye, she got what she deserved. She got fired like she was supposed to. If you really think about all the things that happen in the moments that happen, you got to get rid of the security guard. That guy, he literally turned coat on the whole nation. Yeah, we might just put him to death. You know what I'm saying? I got time for that.
All right.
I do not got time for that. Like, so I don't know, but yeah, maybe it wasn't a good spot for him. But I mean, if he stood on his principles and said, "I'm not doing it for that reasons," then more power to him. You know what I'm saying? I know it's worked out because he's been in plenty of projects since. So I just hope he keeps that momentum. We were all riffing that T'Challa was gone from the MCU. Okay, technically he's not gone anymore. He's a kid though. That's an easily solved problem once you start throwing in time elements and creative writing. So now all of those things you could have done or was supposed to happen to T'Challa can still happen. Storm can still be the queen. He still can go be the leader of the Fantastic Four. Hell, you could even make it that Reed partly raises him at this point. You know what I'm saying? there's so many avenues and ways that you can do it now that you've at least brought his character back. I hope they don't slow walk the kid thing because he won't be ready for prime time movie wise until 2030 ish. But remember, they got a whole Secret Wars Avengers movie about to come out. Like I
I
can
think
force.
I think they feel like they got enough characters where they can introduce him later on in a different phase after all this is done
Yeah,
and
yeah, oh
still
yeah.
tell a viable story.
No, and yeah, I agree because in that case, you can go do the proper search for your grown T'Challa. You know, you can see how the phase 5 starts to play out, and then because like I said, I don't think Coogler's going to be there, so you're still going to have to find somebody to replace him and that standard he's set, and then you got to go from there. So no, I agree with you. It won't be like a in the next year thing. Hell no, that'd be a waste of time. I'm pretty sure this thing is going to do another Billy. You know what I mean? So they're going to take their time and do it right. They recognize the project and the power they have with this brand now. Marvel's not stupid. Ask you this: would you go see it again? Because we already spoke on how the first one is so dope. I caught that one like 3-4 times, but I'm torn if I'd ever go back and see it.
Honestly, I'm gonna definitely watch it on Disney Plus, but I'm not gonna go back and see it again.
Fresh thumbs down in the chat. Would you see it again at the flicks? Yes, Fresh says he's all about that. I would probably see it one more time just to see how I like it when I get past the Chadwick element and realize it's a dedication piece to Chadwick. And let me just judge it in the totality of a Marvel movie. Because I mean, the movie doesn't really, well, no, I guess it starts right away because Shuri is like going crazy to save her brother and can't. And for anybody that's lost anybody, you know the type of pain she's in where you can't do anything. So, it was a very relatable moment, but it did set the entire tone for the movie. And I really want to make sure that I got the right emotions out the story and things I was supposed to get. And I didn't miss any spoilers too, because I'm sure I did, but I got to go back and check them.
Yeah, it just really makes me wonder, man. All these workarounds and it's like, come on, man. It's simple because the simple thing is just to recast, But they did what they could, um, their emotions, they couldn't bring themselves to recast, so they they did the best they could with what they had. So, I commend them for it.
Who thought they would call a movie Black Panther and Black Panther is barely in the movie and you still love it? That's just the power of a good
I
movie.
mean, it worked because Shuri was a Black Panther. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but that happens in the last third of the final act. You know what I mean? You don't.
What I was worried was it was just going to become like this propaganda like vehicle. You know what I'm saying? And it was just going to get super woke. And, they tried to take it back to the roots by having him have a son. But basically, all you did was like reinforce the stereotype of a absentee father and a single mother. I mean, really. I mean, that's what you essentially did. Because you think about it tradition wise, T'Challa wouldn't not be in his son's life. He's got his son being raised in a whole different country. That's not how Africans do shit, man. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate what they're trying to do, but what they essentially did was told the same old story. This is a little black boy who doesn't have a father, who's being raised by a single mother. I mean, really, that's what it is. I mean, am I lying?
What?
Am I lying? No.
No, but
I mean, that's what it is, man. And so when we see this boy again, he's gonna be in some ghetto somewhere with a lot of anger, and he's basically gonna be on some Killmonger shit.
my God, I don't really know what to say. I mean, technically you're right, but it wasn't T'Challa's will to say, hey, I don't want, I want y'all gone. I don't want little dude.
I mean,
Oh, man.
it just didn't make sense if he was alive and he was well at that time, right? He said, I don't want him here. I want him to be like it was like chaos in Wakanda. You know what I'm saying? And his life was gonna constantly be in danger. There's no reason for him to be living in Haiti, man. It don't make sense.
Uh, uh, man, I wish I had a Haiti joke right there. I don't, but yeah, I mean, technically, you're not wrong. I don't.
So basically, they just reinforce stereotypes. That's I mean,
Mm. Who would have thought that was the conclusion you hit? You went full red pill.
I mean
Right.
that's not red pill. I mean, all they did was I
That's not.
understand what he
But
was trying to do, but tradition, the way his mother was King Rwanda, how T'Challa carried himself, it wouldn't have made sense that especially with the queen knowing that she's got a grandson out there.
now I'll give
There's
you that one.
no
That
way, bro.
Yeah, ain't no queen going through all that is not gonna be like, yo, bring me my grandbaby right now. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Yeah, I agree with you there. So, but yeah, I just appreciate that we got T'Challa back. I don't want to get into the statistics and the probabilities of how he might grow up in the hood to play basketball or something. You know what I mean? Single parent father problems. I don't I don't even want to. I don't
It
even want to
might
get
be
it.
it might be a dope story come phase 6 or 7.
Yeah. It never really did make sense to me though, because that is Killmonger's actual story that they just let him rot over in America in the hood in Oakland.